In this video, I'm about to show you 10 pre-made cake brands you should never get and why, along with 5 options that are actually better and worth buying, starting with number 10. Duncan Hines pre-made cakes. Let's start with a name that feels almost comforting. Duncan Hines has been around for decades, and for many people it represents home-style baking without the effort. You see it on the shelf, nicely packaged, familiar branding, and you assume it's a safe, reliable choice. But here's where things get a little less comforting once you actually look beyond the front of the box. Most pre-made cakes under this brand fall firmly into the ultra-processed category. We're not just talking about flour, sugar, eggs, and butter. These products typically include ingredients like emulsifiers, artificial flavors, and preservatives designed to extend shelf life and maintain texture over time. That soft and moist consistency that lasts for days? That's not coming from fresh baking. It's the result of stabilizers and added oils working behind the scenes. Sugar content is another issue. A single serving can easily carry 20 grams or more of sugar, and realistically, most people don't stop at one small slice. That adds up quickly, especially when combined with refined flour, which digests quickly and spikes blood sugar. And then there's the bigger picture: convenience over quality. These cakes are engineered for consistency and shelf stability, not nutrition or freshness. Number 9. Betty Crocker pre-made cakes. Almost every grocery store has a Betty Crocker cake sitting on the shelf, ready to grab for birthdays or last-minute desserts. They look convenient, colorful, and delicious, but here's the problem: convenience comes at a cost. Most Betty Crocker pre-made cakes are packed with refined sugar, partially hydrogenated oils, artificial flavors, and preservatives to keep them soft for weeks. A single slice can have 300-400 calories, 20-25 grams of sugar, and very little nutritional value. That's almost the entire recommended sugar limit for a child in just one slice. And it's not just sugar. The ingredient list includes artificial colors like yellow 5 and red 40 synthetic dyes, linked in some studies to hyperactivity and attention issues in children. Plus, many of these cakes use highly processed flour, giving you carbs with almost no fiber, protein, or real nutrients. The frosting? Even worse. It's mostly sugar, vegetable oils, and stabilizers. The cake itself is designed to stay soft and fluffy on the shelf, not to give you any real flavor or quality ingredients. You could make a small homemade cake in less time than it takes to choose this box, and it would taste better, be fresher, and use real ingredients. If you're thinking about grabbing Betty Crocker because it's familiar and cheap, think again. It's engineered for shelf life and mass appeal, not for your health or your taste buds. Number 8. Pillsbury pre-made cakes. Pillsbury is one of those brands that immediately hits you with nostalgia. The little doughboy smiling from the box, the promise of a quick, happy dessert. But let's be real, the pre-made cakes rarely live up to that cheerful marketing. The texture is almost unnaturally spongy, and the frosting tastes like someone trapped sugar, oil, and artificial flavors in a tiny jar and called it a cake. There's nothing indulgent about biting into it. It's like eating a sweet, soft pillow of disappointment. What bothers me most is how Pillsbury packages convenience as fresh baking. The cakes are engineered to survive shipping, sitting on shelves, and still look perfect when you buy them. That's not a recipe for flavor, it's a recipe for predictability. Every slice tastes exactly the same, with none of the warmth, imperfections, or homemade character that make a real cake memorable. You don't get a surprise in the crumb, a rich layer of flavor, or the satisfaction of something truly fresh. And the marketing, it's clever. Pillsbury makes you feel like you're giving a homemade moment, but it's all an illusion. Sure, it's easy to grab, and yes, it looks good at a party, but if you want a cake that tastes as it looks, Pillsbury isn't it. Nostalgia is nice, but flavor wins every time, and this brand often falls flat. Number 7. Little Debbie pre-made cakes. Little Debbie talks about a childhood staple. The colorful packaging, the snack cakes stacked neatly in the store aisle, it's practically impossible not to feel a pang of nostalgia. But here's the truth. These pre-made cakes are all about instant sugar hits, not quality. The cakes are often overly sweet, the texture's unnaturally uniform, and every bite comes with a faint chemical aftertaste that reminds you this isn't homemade. The way Little Debbie markets these treats is brilliant, but a little sneaky. They're small, individually wrapped, and come in fun flavors, making it feel like you're getting a treat that's playful and harmless. But in reality, the product is built to last weeks on a shelf, not to deliver a truly enjoyable eating experience. That uniform sponginess, that's engineered. The frosting, mostly sugar and stabilizers. You won't find anything that surprises your taste buds or makes you pause and savor. What I find most disappointing is how addictive they feel. One bite leads to another, and before you know it, that nostalgic treat has lost all its charm, and you're left wondering why it doesn't taste as good as you remember. Little Debbie has mastered convenience and marketing, but in the process, the cake has become a shadow of real flavor and joy. It's quick, it's sweet, but it's rarely satisfying. Number 6. Hostess Pre-Made Cakes Hostess, home of Twinkies, Ho-Hos, and Ding Dongs, is basically the superstar of snack cakes. That bright yellow Twinkie wrapper instantly puts me in nostalgia mode, but the reality is a bit sad. Twinkies are famous for their long shelf life, sometimes up to 25 days unopened, and the myth about them lasting years isn't entirely false. But that durability comes at a cost. Each cake is packed with high fructose corn syrup, partially hydrogenated oils, artificial flavors, and stabilizers. The sponge? Uniform, almost ghostly, engineered to stay soft for weeks. The filling? Sweet, fluffy, but more synthetic memory of vanilla than actual flavor. Ho-Hos and Ding Dongs tell a similar story. Ho-Hos have shiny chocolate coatings that melt like perfection in a factory line, leaving zero room for surprise. Ding Dongs are cute chocolate discs with a creamy filling, designed to please the eye, but the taste rarely matches the hype. And there's more. Hostess has faced plant closures, labor strikes, and occasional recalls over the years, highlighting that the company prioritizes production and shelf stability over innovation or quality. The genius and the problem is marketing, individually wrapped, convenient, and packed with childhood memories. But once the wrapper comes off, it's clear. These are factory-engineered experiences, not cakes built to delight. Nostalgia can only carry a Twinkie so far, and flavor? That's where Hostess often falls flat. Number 5. Entenmann's Pre-Made Cakes. Entenmann's has built a reputation on convenience and the promise of bakery-style goodness. But reality tells a different story. Walk down the aisle, and you see the iconic white box with the curved top, promising indulgence. Open it, and you find cakes engineered to stay soft for weeks, often containing refined flour, high fructose corn syrup, partially hydrogenated oils, and artificial flavorings. That perfectly uniform crumb? It's less about baking skill and more about industrial precision. Take their chocolate cake, for example. It looks rich, glossy, and decadent in the box, but the flavor is muted and almost generic. Each slice has exactly the same texture, sweetness, and density. There's no depth, no variation, no wow moment for your taste buds. Even their so-called premium or bakery-style lines rely heavily on stabilizers, making them feel more like a snack engineered for longevity than a dessert crafted for pleasure. Entenmann's has also faced consumer complaints over product mislabeling, unexpected recalls, and packaging issues, particularly when moisture or preservatives failed to hold up during shipping. While it's undeniably convenient for birthdays or last-minute parties, the experience rarely lives up to the promise. Eating an Entenmann's cake is a lesson in predictability. It's neat, shelf-stable, and visually appealing, but it lacks personality, aroma, and the sensory satisfaction that a fresh, homemade cake delivers. For anyone who's serious about flavor, Entenmann's is a reminder that convenience often comes at the expense of taste. Number 4. Sara Lee Pre-Made Cakes. Sara Lee has always sold itself as the trusted dessert for busy families, but the experience of eating one tells a different story. Take a slice of their chocolate or pound cake, and you'll notice something immediately. It's unnervingly uniform. Every bite is identical, which sounds neat, but it also means there's no surprise, no little imperfection that makes a homemade cake feel alive. The ingredients explain why. High fructose corn syrup, refined flour, partially hydrogenated oils, artificial flavors, and preservatives designed to keep the cake soft and shelf-stable for weeks. The frosting deserves its own mention. It's glossy and perfect, but a little too perfect. It doesn't melt on your tongue or leave a lingering flavor. It's more like a decorative promise than an indulgence. And yet, this engineered perfection has helped Sara Lee sell millions of cakes every year. Here's where it gets interesting. Sara Lee has faced consumer complaints and minor recalls over packaging failures and quality inconsistencies. In other words, even their engineered perfection isn't flawless. What makes this brand stand out in the meh category is how it packages predictability as comfort. Eating a Sara Lee cake feels like a polite handshake. It won't offend, it won't thrill, and it certainly won't surprise you. It's safe, convenient, and visually appealing. But for anyone chasing actual flavor, it's a reminder that familiarity can't replace indulgence. Number 3. Missus. Freshley's pre-made cakes missus. Freshley's is the quiet one on the snack cake aisle. You know it's there, but it doesn't scream for attention like Twinkies or Little Debbie. That might make you think it's a subtle, wholesome choice. Don't be fooled. Bite into one of their chocolate Swiss rolls or cupcakes, and it's immediately clear. This is convenience wrapped in an overly sweet coating. The cakes are soft and uniform, almost suspiciously so, because they're built to last for weeks on a shelf, packed with high fructose corn syrup, refined flour, vegetable oils, and artificial flavorings. What's particularly striking about Mrs. Freshley's is the way they mask the industrial taste with design. The frosting is piped with precision, the cake looks fluffy, and the colors are vibrant, but the flavor is muted and one-dimensional. It's like a magic trick. It looks like indulgence, but when your taste buds actually show up, they're met with polite sweetness rather than delight. The brand has also had occasional recalls due to labeling errors and packaging defects, showing that even a quiet brand can have behind-the-scenes issues. Eating a missus. Freshley's cake feels like watching a movie you've seen 100 times. Safe, predictable, and ultimately forgettable. It's convenient, yes, and nostalgia might make you smile, but if your goal is real flavor, this cake reminds you that subtle marketing and uniform engineering can't replace the joy of a freshly baked dessert. Number 2. Little Debbie Swiss Roll. The Little Debbie Swiss Roll looks innocent enough. A neat spiral of chocolate cake hugging a swirl of creamy filling. Bite into it, and you realize it's actually a masterclass in convenience-driven engineering. The cake melts quickly on your tongue, almost unnaturally. The cream is sweet, light, and consistent, like it came from a robotic piping system. That's because the formula is built to last for weeks without losing its shape and relies on refined flour, soybean oil, high fructose corn syrup, and artificial flavors. Flavor? It's playful, but intentionally one-note, designed to be instantly satisfying rather than complex or memorable. What makes Swiss rolls tricky is how addictive they are. Kids and adults alike are drawn to that perfect swirl, the small size, the instant sugar hit. It's a snack disguised as a treat. Little Debbie has faced minor recalls and allergen mislabeling in the past, reminding us that even these packaged comforts come with hidden compromises. Eating a Swiss roll is like watching a perfect Instagram cake in real life. It looks delightful, hits the craving, and then disappears, leaving you oddly unsatisfied. It's portable, consistent, and familiar, but it lacks the warmth, aroma, and depth of a real dessert. This is convenience perfected, engineered to delight briefly and vanish quickly, proving that sometimes the sweetest memories are also the most fleeting. Number 1. Keebler pre-made cakes. Keebler. The elves have been baking in their magical treehouse for decades, and somehow that little fantasy has made its way into grocery aisles. You pick up a fudge cake or soft snack cake, smile at the tiny cartoon bakers and think, this is going to be fun. Then you take a bite and reality sneaks in. The cake is soft, the filling sweet, the chocolate coating glossy, but it hits you like comfort engineered for the masses, not flavor crafted for pleasure. Every slice tastes exactly like the last, which is impressive if you're a machine, less so if you're a human craving real indulgence. The magic is in the marketing, not the baking. The ingredients of refined flour, high fructose corn syrup, Vegetable oils and artificial flavors are carefully chosen to ensure the cake survives shipping, stays shelf-stable, and looks perfect on Instagram, but not to taste like anything memorable. Those elves have you believing you're biting into a bakery creation, but it's really a sugary, uniform product designed to hit a nostalgia sweet spot. Keebler has also faced recalls and minor packaging complaints, proving even elves can slip up. Eating a Keebler cake feels like opening a storybook, only to find the pages blank, cute, fleetingly satisfying, but ultimately forgettable. The packaging winks at you, the nostalgia tugs at your memory, and the taste, well, the taste waves politely and leaves. But don't worry, it's not all bad. There are some pre-made cakes that are genuinely safer choices, made with cleaner ingredients, less sugar, and still delicious, starting with number 5. Simple Truth Organic Pre-Made Cakes. Simple Truth Organic might feel like a rare oasis in the pre-made cake aisle, and in many ways it is. Unlike the usual shelf-stable snacks, these cakes prioritize clean, recognizable ingredients, organic flour, cane sugar, real cocoa, and natural flavors. Bite in, and you notice the difference immediately. The texture is tender, not artificially spongy, and the sweetness is balanced, letting the chocolate or vanilla shine rather than be masked by sugar overload. The brand leans on transparency and a health-conscious appeal, marketing its products as organic, non-GMO, and free of artificial preservatives. That commitment makes them stand out, but the taste is still indulgent enough to feel like a treat, not a health experiment. For shoppers tired of engineered textures and artificial sweetness, Simple Truth Organic delivers a genuine dessert experience. It's convenient, honest, and flavorful, proving that pre-made cakes don't have to compromise on integrity or taste. This is one brand that earns your trust and your taste buds' approval. Number 4. Kroger Private Selection Pre-Made Cakes. Kroger's Private Selection line is the kind of brand that quietly surprises you in the grocery aisle. Unlike flashy snack cakes, these desserts feel like they belong in a boutique bakery, even if you're grabbing them on a Tuesday. The cakes use refined flour, real butter, and quality cocoa, giving them a texture that's soft but not spongy, moist but not heavy. You can actually taste the layers, and the frosting doesn't dominate. It complements rather than overwhelms. Private Selection cakes also stand out for attention to flavor balance and presentation. They come in a variety of indulgent options, from decadent chocolate mousse to classic vanilla layer cakes, each neatly packaged but still approachable. This is convenience without compromise. You get a ready-to-serve dessert that feels premium, yet doesn't demand an entire afternoon in the kitchen. If you're after something pre-made but genuinely satisfying, Kroger's Private Selection is the kind of cake that earns repeated trips to the store. Number 3. Whole Foods 365 Everyday Value Cakes. Whole Foods 365 cakes are like the quiet friend at a party who somehow steals the show without trying. You open the box, and instead of a chemical aroma, you get a real cake smell. Buttery, sweet, and inviting. Bite in, and the crumb actually feels like it was made by a human, not a machine. The frosting? Not a sugar blob, but a soft, flavorful swirl that makes you wonder why other pre-made cakes even exist. These cakes lean on clean, organic ingredients: flour, cane sugar, real butter, cage-free eggs, but they never lecture you. They let the flavor do the talking. Every bite feels balanced, thoughtful, and just a little indulgent, like dessert that actually cares about your taste buds. 365 Everyday Value proves pre-made doesn't have to mean boring. It's dependable, charming, and sneaky in its quality. You take one bite, and suddenly you're questioning every other grocery store cake you've ever bought. Number 2. Aldi Baker's Corner Cakes. Aldi's Baker's Corner cakes are the unexpected delight of the grocery aisle, like finding a hidden gem in plain packaging. Pick one up, and it doesn't scream fancy dessert, but bite in, and you're pleasantly surprised. The cake layers are sturdy enough to stack without collapsing, yet light enough to avoid the cardboard sponge vibe that haunts so many pre-made options. What sets Baker's Corner apart is its subtle charm. The frosting isn't just sweetness pasted on, it has a slightly tangy note that balances the cake, giving it character you wouldn't expect from a budget-friendly brand. Flavors like marble chocolate or vanilla swirl feel playful and approachable, making them perfect for casual celebrations or even sneaky late-night snacks. Aldi's approach is simple but clever. Quality where it counts, fun where it matters, and a price that doesn't make your wallet cringe. Baker's Corner proves you don't need flashy packaging to deliver a genuinely enjoyable cake. Number 1. Trader Joe's pre-made cakes. Trader Joe's cakes are like the friend who always brings the unexpected but delightful dessert to the party. One moment you're eyeing a simple chocolate loaf, and the next, a bite hits you with subtle spices, a hint of citrus, or a playful swirl of frosting that somehow balances fun and sophistication. These cakes feel curated. They have personality baked in, not just sugar. What makes them stand out is their inventiveness and seasonality. From pumpkin streusel in autumn to almond torte in winter, each cake surprises without trying too hard. They're indulgent but never overbearing, and you can tell the brand cares about flavor combinations that make you pause and actually enjoy dessert. Trader Joe's proves pre-made doesn't have to be generic. It's fun, inventive, and unapologetically tasty, a rare treat in any grocery aisle that makes you smile with every slice.